I only have a few seconds before she jumps. I slide clumsily onto the platform. I'm not going to be winning any awards for being slick. And then I take my backpack off and I pull out the can of olive oil. Hosh jumps at the same moment she clocks the oil. She howls, but it's too late. I pour it all over the safety net. When she hits it, she tries to grab on, but her hands just slip off. She bounces back and tries again on the return swing, but her hands are oily now, so she has even less success. She's losing momentum and she can't get on the net. She's stuck and she knows it. She scream roars, which is probably scraws, like Digger did, only hers is higher pitched, so it sounds even more terrible. I put my hands over my ears while I grin at her furious face. The rope is almost out of swing, so she's just dangling from the harness in the center point between the two trees. She can't get to either side, and she can't drop down. One of her shoes falls into the darkness below. "You'll pay for this," she says. "It doesn't matter what happens to me. My race is stronger, smarter, and better than you in every way. We will dominate this world and you will be forgotten." "Look, I'd love to stop and chat, miss," I say. But if you look to your left, you'll see that the river is flowing back into Crater Lake, so I'm afraid your precious sporlings aren't going to be escaping any time soon." She turns to see the river surging down to the bottom of the crater, carrying most of the bug-eye workers with it. They're so weak from the moss soup and the cold water that they're not even attempting to climb out, just scrabbling around and with panicked looks on their faces. Mac and Adrian did it. I climb down from the tree and collapse on the floor. "How's the tunnel blocking going?" I ask Kat, who runs over and flops down beside me. "Chet's is nearly finished," she says. "He worked out how to operate the digging machinery," she says. "So he's digging in reverse?" "Yup, and still wearing the sunglasses. He thinks they make him look so swag." She smiles. "Well done, Lance. Your plan worked." "It was all of us," I say. "That was some epic climbing." I nearly fell when that black slime started oozing out of him. She looks over to where the thing that used to be Digger is glued to the wall, jerking around still and trying to get loose. Poor Digger. He looks disgusting. "An abomination," I agree. "I guess he must have skipped dinner, or maybe because he'd been the one that's been turned the longest, the moss didn't work so well on him. Do you think if we give him some more water bears he might turn back?" "I don't think there's any coming back from that," I say, "but hopefully the others will be okay. Are you up for doing one more job?" "Of course," she says. "We're not safe until we get the word out. Will you take my mobile and climb up to the roof? If you can get reception, phone the police, MI5, the men in black, and my mum." "I'm on it," she says, taking my mobile and running back across the lawn. I want nothing more than to lie here and fall asleep, but there's still work to be done, so I force myself to get up. Without my phone, I'm not sure what the time is exactly, but the crescent moon is high in the sky and the stars are twinkling. With the floodlights on, I can see the lawn and the lake, and they're buzzing with activity. I walk over to where Chet is driving the Digger, and obviously having the time of his life. He grins at me and gives me a thumbs up. "When you're done," I call, dodging out of the way as a pile of earth tumbles out of the scoop, "can you go look for Digger's keys? If we can get into his office, we might be able to use the phone. I don't know if Kat's going to have any luck with getting any reception up on the roof." "He usually keeps them in his pocket," he yells. "I think his trousers are still mostly intact," I say, though I don't even want to think about what he looks like underneath. The keys might have fallen out when he turned. "If not, I'll climb up and see if I can get them," Chet says. "You sure you're okay with that?" He looks pretty scary. "Don't worry, I can handle it." I give him a wave and make my way to the lake. It's going to take a while to get used to this new Chetan. The lake is full of bug-eyes splashing about. Adrian and Big Mac are running around the edges, poking them back in with oars when they get too close to the dry land. "Hey, Lance!" Big Mac shouts out. "We did it!" "Woohoo!" Adrian punches the air. "You guys did so well. You're amazing. You're heroes," I yell. "You too, mate." Big Mac comes running over to me. Some of this lot are turning human, so we can start getting them out. They're tired though. Maybe we could do something to help them. Some life jackets or something. Adrian prods Atul, who definitely still has bug eyes, deeper into the water. I think there's a dinghy in the boat shed, I say. I saw it when we were hiding in there. Oh, that'd be perfect. I'll go get it. I run around the lake to the pier side, open the door to the boat shed and flick on the light. I see what I need towards the back of the shed. Behind the canoes and oars there are some inflatable rafts. It's going to be a squeeze to get them, so I take off my backpack and chuck it onto the pier. Then I go for the inflatables, climbing over piles of ropes and oars until I'm at the back of the shed. Suddenly, the light flickers. My first thought is that the light bulb must have popped, but I turn on instinct, and in the last flash of light, I see her. Then everything goes black. I crouch down behind the rafts. It's no good hiding, Hosh's voice hisses from somewhere in the darkness. I can see you. I swallow. Damn those bug eyes. Miss Hosh, I say, I thought I left you hanging out by the leap of faith. Get it? Hanging out? She doesn't laugh. I managed to find my way out of your pathetic trap. Anger is a great motivator. Her voice is a little closer this time. You should know, a boy like you, full of anger and aggression. If you were going to make it today, you'd only end up in prison. You've got me all wrong, I say, fumbling with the inflatables in front of me. The things I've done, trapping Trent in the toilets, everything at Crater Lake, I didn't do to them out of anger. I did them to help my friends. And now you've ruined our plans, she says. She must be barely more than a metre away now. My sporlings are destroyed. Soon I'll be the only one left. So you didn't like my soup? I say. My human body is allergic to carrots, so I found alternative nourishment. Oh, okay, I said. I'm still stalling. I need a few more seconds. So, firstly, a carrot allergy. That's random. And secondly, the way you say alternative nourishment sounds totally creepy, like you were eating human entrails or something. I know what you're doing, she says. She's so close I can feel her breath on my arm. But there's no way of getting out of this alive. You're not clever enough to defeat me. See, now that's where you're wrong, I say. And I yank the ripcord on the dinghy in front of me. It pops up hard and starts inflating, knocking Hosh back. I hear a crash and a scraw, and I run, clambering over the boats towards the light coming in around the edge of the door. I fling it open and run out onto the pier, grabbing my backpack. There's another deafening scraw behind me, and Hosh comes running out of the shed. Do you know what, miss? I say, running and trying to open my backpack. I might not be in the top group for maths. I might not be on the football team. I might not have the most house points, but that doesn't mean I don't have smarts, and it doesn't mean I don't have skills. I'm at the end of the pier now. I could jump into the lake, but that isn't going to get this finished. Hosh slows down to a walk. She knows I'm not going anywhere. Compared to me, you're nothing, Lance Sparshot. It's like the ridiculous game you all play, the one with Geek, the robot, and the Overlord. I'm the Overlord, and I was put here to enslave geeks like you. You're wrong, I say. You're pointless and weak, the archetypal geek. Hell yes, I'm the geek and proud of it, I say, taking one more step back. I mean, you're wrong about you. She tried to step toward me, but her stupid heel is caught between the wooden boards of the pier. She wobbles. You're not the Overlord. You're the robot. I launch myself at her, and as she opens her mouth to scrawl, I stuff in a bunch of moss and hold my hand over her mouth, pushing us both over the edge of the pier. She fights me as we fall, but as we plunge into the water, the shock of the cold makes her gasp. She swallows the moss. I let go of her face and hope I never have to get that close to a teacher ever again. Then I leave her to splutter back to the surface. I take a breath and swim for the shore. Chapter 22, Facing the Future. I knew when I went on the trip to Crater Lake that I was going to be homesick. but I didn't realise how much. It's 8:37 a.m. I know that because I got my phone back, and I'm sitting on the sofa in the snug room at my house. Katja and Chet's both managed to call for help, and not long after my final showdown with Hosh, the police showed up, followed by ambulances, some official-looking guys in suits, and all of our parents. They'd found Trent not far from the activity centre, crying on a tree stump. He'd used up all the oxygen, run out of snacks, and got lost in the woods. They asked us some questions while we were there. Then they let us go home to rest. I've sat here 1,000,000 times. This is my favourite room in the house, but this time it's different. I can't believe you kept this house hidden from us all this time, Chet says. It's like a mansion. And there was everyone thinking you were a tramp from the wrong side of the tracks. Mac shoves a whole burger into his mouth. I never said we were poor, I say, and I dunk a chip and some ketchup. Well, now we can come here every weekend. Katja is lying at the end of my sofa, yawning like she hasn't slept for, 2 days and 2 nights. You'll still come, won't you, Aid and Chet's, even though you're going to Bing with the Genius kids? I'm not going to Bing, Aid says. What? Mac nearly chokes on his burger. I never said I was going there. It's not for me. I'm going to Latham with you guys. We all stare at her in surprise. It's like I told you at Crater Lake, she says. People are always making assumptions about me. Our parents are all in the kitchen having some kind of crisis meeting, so we eat and chat and laugh together until the tiredness starts to catch up with us. Katja falls asleep first, curled up like a kitten. Then Mac just passes out on the floor with a pillow under his head. I guess he's used to sleeping rough, so our carpet is probably pretty comfortable in comparison. Adrienne lies on the other sofa, her face turned away, just like she slept with my CPAP at the centre. You're never going to come to Bing, are you, Lance? Chet says. Nope. I'd never get in there, and I'd hate it if I did. How will I get by without you? Chet's, I say, looking over to where he's made himself a nest on the floor. Think about what you've been through over the past few days. You're going to be just fine. And I believe that. I honestly do. I don't think Trent's going to mess with me anymore, he says. No chance. You were bad, eh? I was, wasn't I? He's grinning bigger and bolder than I've ever seen him grin before. But we'll still be friends though, right? Wherever we go and whatever we do, even if we don't see each other for ages, Chet, I promise that you will always, always be my friend. You too, he says, my best friend. Night, Lance. And he lets his head fall onto the pillow. Within 2 minutes, he's snoring gently like a bear cub. My eyes are so heavy, and my head is full of thoughts and feelings. I look around at my friends and wonder why I didn't let them in sooner. Crater Lake has changed my life in so many ways, and I know that no matter what lies ahead, I'll deal with it. Actually, we'll deal with it together. I turn on the CPAP machine and strap the mask to my face, listening to the comforting, soft whir of its pumps filling the tube with oxygen. Then I let my eyelids drop, and in a safe and happy place, with a full stomach and the people that I love around me, I snuggle into a warm haze of contentment and finally go to sleep. The end.